The scream sliced through the house like a blade through silk. "You're not my real dad, so stop acting like it." Lily's voice, sharp and venomous, echoed off the kitchen tiles, her eyes blazing with a fury I'd never seen in her 16 years. I stood frozen, a half-peeled potato in one hand, the peeler trembling in the other. The air felt thick, like it was holding its breath, waiting for me to shatter. I'd raised Lily since she was 4, when her mother, Claire, and I married in a quiet ceremony under a willow tree. I'd bandaged her scraped knees, cheered at her soccer games, and tucked her in with stories of dragons and knights. She'd called me dad since she was 6, her tiny hand clutching mine as we crossed the street. Now her words carved out a piece of my heart, leaving it raw and bleeding on the linoleum floor. Claire was at the sink, her back to us, scrubbing a pan with mechanical precision. She hadn't spoken since the argument started, since I'd asked why she'd been late again, why her phone was always on silent, why her perfume smelled different. The questions had been piling up for months, small splinters under my skin. She'd laughed off my concerns, her smile too bright, her excuses too smooth. "Work's crazy," she'd say, "or you're overthinking, Matt." But tonight Lily's outburst wasn't about her mother's late nights. It was about me, the man who dared to love her like his own. "Lily, you don't mean that," I said, my voice low, pleading. I set the potato down, the peeler clattering against the counter. Her face twisted, tears streaking her mascara. "I do. You're not my dad. You don't get to tell me what to do." She stormed out, the slam of her bedroom door rattling the house. Claire didn't turn around. The faucet kept running, a steady hiss filling the silence. That night, I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling fan's lazy spin. Claire slept beside me, her breathing even, her body curled away. I replayed the last few months. Her sudden business trips, the locked phone screen, the faint scent of cologne on her scarf. I told myself it was nothing, that love meant trust, that doubt was a betrayal of its own. But doubt was a seed, and it had taken root. The next morning, I found the evidence. Claire had left her laptop open, a rare lapse. An email notification blinked. "Miss you already. Same time tomorrow." The sender's name was unfamiliar, but the tone was intimate, unguarded. My chest tightened as I clicked through her inbox, each message a brick in a wall I couldn't unbuild. Words like love and can't wait burned into my retinas. Photos, too. Her smiling in a restaurant I didn't recognize, his arm around her waist. I sat there, numb, as the world I'd built crumbled. When Claire came home, I didn't shout. I didn't cry. I just showed her the screen. Her face paled, her lips parting as if to speak, but no words came. "Why?" I asked, my voice barely a whisper. She sank onto the couch, her hands twisting in her lap. "I didn't mean for it to happen," she said finally. "It was a mistake. A moment of weakness." Her eyes darted away, avoiding mine. "He listens to me, Matt. He sees me. And I don't." The question hung heavy, unanswered. She talked about feeling invisible, about the monotony of our life, about needing something new. Each word was a confession, but not an apology. She wasn't sorry for him. She was sorry she got caught. I packed a bag that night. Lily's words still echoed, her rejection a wound that hadn't scabbed over. I knocked on her door hoping for, what? An apology? A hug? She opened it a crack, her eyes red but defiant. "I meant what I said," she muttered. "You're not my dad." I nodded, swallowing the lump in my throat. "Okay, Lily. I'll stop." I left the house, the door clicking shut behind me, a sound as final as a gunshot. The next year was a blur of motel rooms and takeout containers. I got an apartment, a small place with bare walls and a view of a parking lot. I worked, I ate, I slept, but I didn't live. Claire's betrayal was a shadow I couldn't outrun. But Lily's words were the knife that kept twisting. I'd loved her like my own, and she'd thrown it back in my face. I stopped calling, stopped texting. She wanted me gone, so I was. I didn't hear from Claire again, not directly. Mutual friends whispered updates. She was still with him, the man from the emails. They'd moved in together. Lily was struggling at school, acting out. I pushed the news away, buried it under work and whiskey. But late at night, when the world was quiet, I'd see Lily's face, her 4-year-old smile, her 6-year-old giggle, her 16-year-old rage. Then a year to the day I left, my phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "It's Lily. Can we talk?" My heart lurched. I stared at the screen, my thumb hovering over the reply button. Part of me wanted to delete it, to keep the wall I'd built. But another part, the part that still loved her, typed back. "Okay. Where?" We met at a diner, the kind with sticky tables and coffee that tasted like regret. She looked different, thinner, her hair dyed black, her eyes shadowed with exhaustion. She slid into the booth, her fingers fidgeting with a napkin. "I'm sorry," she said, her voice small. "For what I said. For everything." Tears welled up, and she swiped at them angrily. "Mom's a mess. She's with that guy, and he's not you." I listened as she unraveled. Claire's affair hadn't stopped. It had consumed her. The man was charming at first, but controlling, dismissive. Lily felt abandoned, caught in the crossfire of her mother's choices. "I didn't mean it," she whispered. "You were my dad. You still are." The words hit like a wave, pulling me under. I wanted to reach across the table, to hug her like I did when she was small. But I couldn't. "Not yet. Lily," I said, my voice steady despite the ache. "I never stopped loving you. But you told me to stop being your dad. So I did." Her face crumpled, and she nodded, like she deserved the pain. "I know. I need you. Please." She reached for my hand, her fingers trembling. I looked at her, this girl who wasn't mine by blood, but was mine in every way that mattered. The diner hummed around us, clinking plates, murmured conversations, the hiss of the coffee machine. Outside, rain streaked the windows, blurring the world. I squeezed her hand just once. "I'm here," I said. It wasn't forgiveness, not entirely. It wasn't a promise to fix everything. But it was enough for now. She cried, and I let her. The weight of a year lifting and settling all at once. I'd stopped being her father because she asked me to. But she never stopped needing me. And maybe, just maybe, I never stopped needing her either.